What's going on, everybody? Today I want to share with you how I structure the visual framework of my local affiliate SEO sites, because of the fact that you need to not only have a visually appealing website, but it also needs to be structured in a manner that it's going to convert your visitors. Hey everyone, Matt Wacek here. Welcome back to a brand new video, and frankly, let's just get right into it because again, I'm still in the 12 sites in 12 days Christmas SEO case study challenge, and it takes a lot of time and effort. So when I'm making these videos, I kind of need to keep it short and sweet and to the point and get it uploaded here on YouTube and get back to the site building. So anyways, let's get into the framework of how I structure my sites in terms of what elements go where on the pages that I build. So what I'll do here is draw out the framework for a homepage that most of you guys are probably going to be building, which is going to probably be a 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, maybe 10 page single city focused site. So basically electrician Minneapolis, for example, or something of the sort. And that's what this homepage is going to be all about. Focused on the broad keyword for the niche that you're targeting. So HVAC, electrician, plumber, anything else, any of those broad niches that you're targeting. And then the service pages are all about the individual service. So if it was a plumbing contractor, you're gonna have another page that's all about pipe repair, or another one that's all about faucet replacement, and each service from there, and they're all optimized for that particular city, of course. Okay, so to start things off, let's just say we're going to be building a one-page site in terms of just one sales page or landing page, if you will. Obviously, you're going to have your TOS and your privacy policy page and your get a quote page, but for the money pages or whatever you want to call them, there's only going to be one. We'll just say it's electrician St. Louis, and it's just our homepage. So what we're going to do is say this rectangle here in the AWW app is our website, and I build every single one of my local affiliate SEO sites with Elementor Pro. And the very first thing that I do as soon as I install Elementor onto the site is I import the templates that I have set up from previous sites, which are the header, the footer, and the main call to action, and I bring that into the site. It's basically a .json file, and it imports it in. It takes hardly any time at all, and then the header, footer, and CTA are all right there. Obviously, I do have to go in and change out the links and the phone numbers and clickable phone numbers and that sort of stuff that are appropriate to the particular site that I am building, but it saves a ton of time. Tons and tons and tons of time. So anyways, let's just say though we're starting from scratch, and the very first thing that I'm going to do is create two columns here at the top for the header. So we're going to do a 50-50 approximately. I mean, in the approximately, so it's approximately 50-50 here. As I'm just drawing this out, obviously it's probably not, but you get the idea. So the very first element that I put onto that page, or onto actually all the pages, because this is a part of the header, is going to be the logo that I use for a lot of my local affiliate sites. So it's basically something generic and it makes sense to the niche, which for this particular one, it's used for multiple niches because it's very broad in the term of what the information is. And then the nice thing about it is that I can use it on multiple sites. So if you want to get a logo design, I'd recommend going down below to get access to the list of the recommended legit vendors, where I have a list of a couple different logo vendors that I use on legit pretty regularly. So I'd highly recommend doing that. So then the next thing, I will create an icon list in Elementor, and I usually will do this also affixed to the right side of the page. And basically this is going to be where I have the link to the get a quote page and then the clickable phone number. Very, very simple to do. And then I put the appropriate icons in there to match phone number or to request a quote. And still working here in the header, the next thing that I do is I will put in another section that is full width or 1500 width, something like that. It's basically as wide as you can get it without it going past the outsides of the site. And then this is where I will put the menu, and then I set up the menu for the colors so it will match the color scheme that I'm using with that particular site. So then I publish that as the header onto everything on the site, and I'm sure the camera is shaking because I'm using my stand-up desk and it's kind of wobbly a little bit. But anywho, once you have the header, you make that global across the site, or you set the site conditions, I believe is the wording in Elementor, and then you're good to go and you're done. And it's dynamically changed. So if you were to go into the back end and change up the menu structure or add a couple pages to your menu, it's going to be showing like that on every single page. The next thing is we need to build out a footer. So we're going to come down here and we're just going to place our footer right down there. So I usually do between 3, 4, sometimes 5 different columns. And the background of this footer, by the way, is usually gray, something dark. But so what I do for each one of these columns is I'll usually have one here, the first one that appears, because as someone's scrolling on mobile, this will be the first one that they see. So I usually will have it be one last call to action, and it'll just basically say get in touch. And then basically the same icon list is up here, just a little bit smaller of text, where it's either request service, get a quote, or make a phone call. Next thing, I do a list of some of the services. So I basically will have links to the service pages that are built onto the site. And you just do that with an icon list. You can do another one here for social links if you want. And then you can do another one, I usually do this on all the sites, is if I have a GMB listing for the website that I'm building, then I will embed that right there. Or I'll just take the raw HTML code from the Google Maps for that city and I will embed that on there. And then down beneath that I have my disclaimer and then also the copyright text and also links to the terms of service and privacy policy pages. So now the first actual piece of content that's not something global for the site is the what I call a header, basically, or opening content, if you will. So basically what I do is I take an image and I make that as the background, and then I will put some type of overlay, either dark or light, and then either light or dark text, and the H1 for the main keyword we're trying to rank for, so electrician Minneapolis, or whatever your particular keyword is that you're trying to rank for. Then I usually put it like a divider, and then I'll put a line of text, usually one long sentence that also mentions the keyword in there, and then a few other services or something of the like. And basically I will just say professional electrician or professional electrical contractor or something like that in the city that you're targeting, offering commercial and residential services, 24-hour availability, etc., etc. And then beneath that text, I will put a button right here that is a color that contrasts with everything around it, so that way it stands out. And basically this button, for most niches, what I do is I will just have it be either get a quote, request a quote, or request service. That's what's written on the button, and then it will link to the get a quote page where they can fill out their contact information to request a quote for whatever the service may be. So if you're doing this in a niche where you are only doing calls and that's all that the affiliate network offers, you put that click to call number right there, and you'll definitely want to put a phone icon here in the button if it is a click to call, and then just have the phone number written out. So the next batch of content underneath here is going to just be a header, so it'll be an H2. So I will generally use some sort of variation like local lawn care professional in city, or I'll do professional commercial and residential electrical company or something like that in city. And one thing I definitely make sure to do is that all of these headlines are always going to only be on one line of text, so that way it doesn't get all goofy with the formatting, especially on desktop. So the next section that I do is usually 2/3 and 1/3 in terms of the width for the content on here. So this is going to be text right here, and then I'm going to put usually an image that is obviously pertinent to the niche, or sometimes I will also put the YouTube video that I upload that's set up for that channel that I embed onto there. Obviously the video is super optimized for the one main broad keyword or sometimes two keywords, and it's just an animated video template, and I just upload it to YouTube. I don't do the live stream because the quality of that video will just plummet when you live stream it. So I just upload it and call it good, and then I embed it on the page. And if you're trying to rank your videos, this will actually help it a bit because you're going to be building trust and authority in this site with the links that you build. So being as it's embed on a higher authority site, as you start doing that, it's going to increase the ranking of your video, and you can also embed that same video on some of your PBNs as well. Now the next section I put beneath that is the first call to action, and this is for mobile and tablet users. So I'll usually put the text in a headline of request quote. So I'll usually put that headline in the size of a headline, but I will set it as a paragraph. And then I will embed the Cognito Forms form that we have set up for the particular website, because at this time LeadSmart does not have the automatic capability yet to be able to just have the contact forms embed onto the site, and then it automatically is entered into their network. So for the time being, we just have Cognito Forms in there, and then things are manually entered. But so then you embed that contact form, and then beneath the contact form, we have another disclaimer that basically informs the person who's going to be filling that out that, okay, this website does not directly provide service. You're going to be connected to a service provider, long story short. So on mobile, this looks amazing. Tablet, it looks okay. Desktop, it is really out of place, so that's why I hide it on desktop. And I'm not worried about affecting the conversions on desktop users, because if someone's using a desktop computer like a 21-inch Mac screen, or if they're using some type of other larger computer screen, they're going to see the buttons for the calls to action probably all within one screen view on their particular monitor. So then I'll throw in another batch of content like a paragraph, and I sometimes will throw an image right here, or maybe this is where I embed the video and be an image up here at the top. and then another section with 3 to 4 columns, depending on how many services are going to be written in here, with checklists, or basically just a check mark, or you can do whatever icon you like with each one of the services. So you'd have wiring, you'd have ceiling fan installation, you would then have electrical panel upgrades, home generator installation, and eventually when you do create pages to those, you have a link to those particular pages. So then beneath that, and I know that we're kind of running short on room, but beneath that is where I put in the call to action, which is that full width, just like up here at the top where we had the fixed background image. This is the same exact thing, but a different photo. And sometimes there's a dark overlay over that photo, sometimes not. But either way, what I do with the background here for where there's going to be text is I will just put in one element and I'll set the width a little bit narrower than the rest of the text. It's only like 500 width in terms of pixels. And then I'll put a header in there, which is usually going to be H2, and I'll have it say either ready to get started, contact us today, something like that. And bottom line, it's a call to action. So some form of wording that's going to get someone to take action from your website. And then beneath that is going to be another button, just like the one we did up here, where it's going to either have the phone number in there, and it's a clickable phone number, or I will have a link to the request a service page. And by the way, I only have one button in this particular section. I've tried it with 2 buttons, but the formatting gets goofy because it was nice to have the call button and then also the request a quote and takes them to the contact us page. That made it really, really cool, and I liked that. I liked having the ability to do both of that, but the problem was that the formatting got goofy when you'd switch it from site to site, and I didn't feel like dealing with it. So I just have the one button in there that's going to have it either send them to the contact us page or it'll just click to call. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple here. And I know that this might look like it's incredibly elaborate and really complex and all this sort of stuff, but when you look back to probably what 10 or 15 years ago, what you'd have to be doing to build a site that would look similar to this, and actually the visual appearance wouldn't be anywhere near as good, you'd have to be coding it. So I would definitely prefer to use Elementor to build my sites than having to write code. So if you do have questions on how to build out these types of sites, be sure to leave a comment down below. And also, if you got this far into the video, you might as well go down below and drop a like. And also, if you're not already part of our ever-growing family, be sure to go down below, smash that subscribe button, and also hit the bell for notifications so you know when all the newest content comes live. If you want to get guided step-by-step training on how to build sites just like this in Elementor and rank them and monetize them with a local affiliate offer, there are links right down below to our courses where you can get access to all of that guided step-by-step training and a whole lot more. So I'll see you guys in the next video.